let's dive into this recap though. All right, because I know everyone wants to see, talk about this play. So today is Friday, December 28th. It is the final Friday before we wrap up our 2018. There is a New Year's Eve on Monday, but that day is going to be a little bit slow. So I doubt I'm going to be getting any sort of trading on Monday. So it's my final trade of 2018 today. Able to lock in just underneath $3,000. And where was I able to lock in that gain? I was able to lock that in on QTT today. Now, a lot of people want to know, how did I find QTT? Why did I trade QTT? What pattern is QTT on? Did it have any sort of news? Let's go over this. Let's talk about this. And as I just showed you guys, this was on our morning newsletter yesterday. You guys could see Thursday, December 27th. And with that being said, chart setup, QTT. Keep your eyes on this play as this stock has a great squeeze pattern between its 13 EMA and 50-day moving average. This is a low float new IPO stock which could spike hard if volume ever moved into it. Yesterday, we saw the stock spike 20%, so it will be on most traders' watch list. Break of $6, watch for volume to move in, and break of $6.40, watch for a possible breakout. So that was yesterday's morning newsletter, and why did we want to look at QTT? Simply enough, because it has a beautiful squeeze pattern. Where's the squeeze? The squeeze is between the 13 EMA and the 50-day moving average. Now, as you guys know, when we look into different press releases, or when we look into patterns, what do we always like to look for? There are two different shapes. We like to look for, number one, we can look for U-shapes. And what does a U-shape do? A U-shape shows that we have our point of resistance. The stock falls on down, comes back up to resistance, and once we break this resistance line, we usually end up getting a nice breakout. Right? We usually have our nice, a resistance line right across the board. When we break this resistance line, we get a very nice breakout. Or, on the other hand, what do we have? Triangles. This is what we always like to look for, right? And in a triangle, we like to see the stock get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until we get a very nice squeeze pattern, correct? So if we want to look at, some of our breakout patterns, for the triangle aspect, because this would be more of our squeezing, right? This would be more of our squeezing. The U-shape is going to be more of our breakouts. That's a squeeze in very tiny, very bad handwriting. So if we're looking for squeezing, we can look at what sort of patterns? Bull flags, right? We have a nice triangle right here that forms on our bull flag patterns. Triangle, very nice squeeze and rip. Triangle, very nice squeeze and rip. Triangle, very nice squeeze and rip. We also have ascending triangle patterns, right? We're ascending triangle patterns. We have a very nice squeeze in our rip. Very nice squeeze in our pop right here, pop in our spike, or squeeze in our spike, any way you want to say it. We also have, descending triangle patterns, right? We see those go on very nice pops and very nice rips. Let me see if I can get a couple pictures of, some descending triangle patterns. Where basically, let me see, like right here, descending triangle patterns where we have this nice squeeze right here and the stock goes on a very nice rip and the stock can go on a very nice pop. So we look for these patterns as well as our descending triangle patterns, as these can go on some very nice pops. Descending triangle patterns, these can go on very nice pops. But in a lot of these cases, these are off of different highs and different lows of the actual stock. In this case, QTT, this is from the different indicators. Now, we use what indicators, guys? We use the 13 EMA, we use the 50-day moving average, we like to use the 200-day moving average. Now, if you guys don't know about that, all you guys got to do, again, go over to tradecaster.com, and as you guys know, search Dekmar Trades. We have over 200 hours of video lessons, and if you guys look right here, it says boot camp number 26. What are indicators? And it's a little side note, I have about 20 more videos. It's going to be up towards around boot camp number like 45 or so that you guys are going to be at, coming up this weekend. So I'm going to be putting all those video lessons in there. But as you guys know, our boot camp is basically if you know nothing about the stock market all the way until you know absolutely everything. You have 26 lessons over on Tradecaster, and you can go check that out. What are indicators? Why do we use the 13 EMA and 50-day? So the 13 EMA and the 50-day moving average, those two are coming together for a very nice squeeze. Simply right there alone, you could have enough credibility to go after this play. And you could say to yourself, hey, this stock could be a very nice mover because the stock is getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter in this little alley until, boom, we get that nice break and we get that nice move. Now, QTT, I don't even believe that this stock is even done yet, to be honest. QTT, this stock has a 20K bid order at 653 right here. QTT has the whole sky, the whole world is the limit on this play. It's going to have some chart resistance up towards around $8, yes. But if you're looking at it strictly as a day trade, I think we play this thing absolutely beautiful. Now, on this stock, What else did I like about this play? I also liked about this play is that this is a new IPO stock. This is a newer play. How do I know it's a newer play? Well, if I just type in any play, let's say VTVT, I could see VTVT. I could scroll back, all the way back through this pattern right here. If I click AWSM, I could scroll back on AWSM. When I look at QTTT, you can see the candles are a little bit thicker. They're a little bit fatter right here, right? And that's because I can't scroll back anymore. Right here is the start. September 14th. That was the first day the stock was ever on the Nasdaq. It was the first day that was traded publicly, the initial public offering, right? And it went from $9 and spiked all the way up to $20. So whenever you see a stock, go from $9 to $20, what does that tell us? What does that tell us as traders? That tells us that that this is a spiking stock, that we could see a very nice move right here. And that's one of the key things I always look for in every single play. Every stock I get involved with, I always say to myself, what? I always say, is this a past chart spiker, right? Because a past chart spiker is going to lead towards more spikes in the future. If a stock has never spiked before in the past, do you think it's going to just randomly spike right now? I mean, possibly, but it doesn't really show any sort of credibility, right? Let's say it like this. Let's say we're playing baseball, okay? We're playing baseball. We're out in the yard with our friends, and you're a captain. You're a captain, and I'm a captain. And I say, you pick first. Who do you think you're going to pick first? You're going to pick probably the kid that that is slamming dingers left and right, over the fence, hitting home runs nonstop, having a great arm, great pitcher, right? You want to pick like one of the best kids to be on your team. And how do you know he's one of the best kids? All right, you pick, Bubba, big old Brucey Bubba, right? The great Gambino. Why do you pick him? And it's like, oh yeah, this kid. Every single time we play with him, he's always hitting massive home runs. Every single time we play with him, this kid is always, just absolutely killing it, right? So, with that being said, that's the kid that you're probably going to pick, because why? His history. It's the same exact thing with stocks. I'm going to probably play stocks such as QTT because it shows that it's gone on an $11 spike. I'm probably going to play stocks such as AWSM because they've gone on $25 spikes. I'm probably going to like to play RKDA because RKDA has gone on a $60 rip. I'm probably not going to want to play something that's never moved before, right? I don't know if I want to play AEY. I don't know if I want to play the stock. Yeah, maybe you get a single and a double every now and then, but then you usually strike out the next play a ton. Like, I don't know if I really want to get into that. I don't really see any sort of, giant spiking going on, right? So, little side note as I'm going over this, VTVT is getting a nice squeeze right here. So, QTT, I'm seeing at this play right now, I have a beautiful squeeze pattern. B, I have the stock on a great, a spike in the past. C, it's also initial public offering, which means, the sky's the limit. It's a very new stock. If this stock starts going, some of the biggest rips we've ever seen are from new IPOs because people say, oh, wow, this company must be something huge. Let's buy, and momentum just takes it over. So that's also great. And also, it's a low float stock. This is what we like to call a masterpiece pattern, guys. And I've talked about this many times in our lessons. What is a masterpiece pattern? A masterpiece pattern is simply enough when you have a big spike and it comes back down. This, right away is going to show us that this stock is a previous spiker. So let's break this down a little bit in our masterpiece pattern. And we have A right here. A is right here, right? That's our masterpiece pattern. That's the first part. Little sign I want to put VT because I know some of you guys are trading right now. Let's go VT right here, VT right here. Just as I go over this, you guys can keep your eyes peeled over there. All right, so we have A, which is the first thing right here, which is the very nice spike, right? The very nice spike. So that gives us the credibility of it's a past ripper. Now what do we have? We have the stock fade for about, like a month and a half. Now, why would fading month and a half, help us at all? So why is this important, fading month and a half? Because if it's fading month and a half, that means we just have selling and selling and selling and selling. And since there's so much selling, guess what that stock's going to eventually be? That stock is eventually going to be oversold. And if that stock is oversold, guess what? No one's going to be selling it ever. Mostly all sellers are out. And if it's oversold, no one's just going to wake up and be like, yeah, I want to short an oversold stock. And people will be like, I don't get that. Reverse that then. Imagine walking down the street in New York City. You walk down, let's say Wall Street. A broker runs up to you and says, hey, I got a great stock for you. Do you want to invest into it? And he's like, all right, tell me a little bit more. And the broker comes up to you and says, yep, this stock is extremely overbought. So, it's up so high already, it's probably going to fall soon. You want to invest? And it's like, no. It's like, get away from me, you freak. I don't want to be anywhere near you, right? So, I mean, that's kind of where you're at. Now, reverse that. Now, oversold means no one's going to really short an oversold stock. Why? Because, most likely it's going to start going up with any sort of positive news, with any sort of reasoning, with any sort of credibility. So we have a stock that shows as a past chart spiker. We've been falling for the last month and a half. Finally, we find our stability. We find our support right here. This could be C. We've been falling. We're oversold. We found support. And now, again, lastly, we have the triangle being formed, and we start building higher lows. Higher lows is an indicator that the stock is moving up. And if the stock is moving up, eventually we're going to hit resistance. And once we hit resistance, that's where we start getting our nice big breakout, which was the squeeze on that triangle. So just out of this, we have our nice spike that shows the stock in grip. We got oversold. We found our support. We built higher lows. It put us inside of a triangle on QTT, put us inside of a triangle. And on top of that, the lower float led it to a very nice rip. So with that being said, this was one I already went over on our morning newsletter yesterday. So right when I started seeing the stock pop on up this morning, I went in and entered this play. So right when I saw the stock get this big green candle right here, it went from $6, shot all the way up towards around $6.15. That's when I hopped in on this play. Now, as I got in on this play, I alerted it out to you guys, let everyone know, hey, I'm hopping on this play right now, $6.15, $6.16. I'm getting in on it, and the stock runs all the way up and gets up to $6.23. Now, I'm saying to myself, all right, what is this play going to do? What's its next move? Comes back on down right towards around 618. We bounce on up and we run up to 630. Now the stock comes back down towards 622 and it runs up towards around 629. Now, with that being said, guys, I can start putting an uptrend on this play. I can start putting an uptrend on this play, and I could say to myself, as long as it holds this uptrend, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Where did I get scared out? I got scared out right here. I got scared out right here. Because as we know, when a stock goes from bullish to bearish, that's when we see the biggest falls. That's when we see the biggest cracks, right? We see that all the time, and even anyone who just watches our YouTube lessons. Bullishness, bearishness. I love to show these pictures. Bullishness, bearishness. Good, bad. You could say happy, sad. I love stock trading. I hate it. I'm making a ton of money. Oh, Lord help me, right? So, this is a good side. This is the bad side. I always like to lock out my profit, right where it goes and looks to cross. I thought it was going to cross right there, so that's where I got out. But you know what? The stock continued to move until it actually cracked all the way up at around 665 after running all the way up to 675. And guess what happened? Now the stock is starting to dump on off. So QTT, absolutely beautiful play. A nice slow climber, a nice big ripper, just underneath $3,000 in profit. Not a straight up move, not a straight down move, not sort of anything crazy like pumpy and dumpy. This was just a nice steady move. Got in at 934, got out at around 10:05. Or excuse me, not 934, a little bit after, like 938, 940, and then got all the way out at around $10. It was a nice like 15-20 minute trade right here, or 10 o'clock. So it was a nice 15-20 minute trade, nice and easy. Thought it was going to crack here, got out just underneath $3,000 in profit and locking up my 2018. So going into some 2019 with a lot of excitement, a lot of profit, and I'm excited to see what this year is going to bring. On top of that, seeing so many of you guys in chat being able to bring some big profits. We are going to be adding Profits Chat back over to Tradecaster because I love seeing your profits. It inspires me, and I know it inspires other people. So again, that's absolutely awesome. Great work today, guys. Awesome. Way to end off your 2018. I'm so excited to start, moving into the new year with you. And again, I'll see you guys in 2019 for our next big trade.